Good morning, everyone, from Mercer County Park in Westminster Township, New Jersey. It's the 2025 Minor League Cricket Championship here on the MLC Network. Today, it's the second half of a home-and-home as the Manhattan Yorkers host the New Jersey Stallions. Good morning, everyone. My name is Brian Barish. Great to have you, as always, on this beautiful, if not slightly warm, Sunday morning here in central New Jersey. These two teams played yesterday. The Stallions got up pretty straightforward winners by 63 runs. Thanks to Sai Mukamala's 82 and Rishik Patel's forfer. And the Stallions still undefeated. They remain one of three undefeated teams in minor league cricket, alongside the Atlanta Fire and the Baltimore Royals. They come in with a record of 5-0 and look to consolidate their lead at the top of the Eastern Division. As for the Manhattan Yorkers, well, they now come in with a record of 1-6, and the situation for them is not looking all that great. Even if they win out, there is no guarantee that they will make the playoffs at this point, especially with the Cavaliers and the NYC Titans playing so well towards the top. This is one of two games happening today in the Eastern Division of minor league cricket. There's a whole bunch of action happening around the country, so we hope that you'll join us here on the MLC Network. But happening at 11:45 up at the New York Ovals in Albany, New York, or in the capital region, the Philadelphians will play the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers. The Cavs, with a win, if they can win today and if they can defeat the Titans tomorrow, and depending on how the Stallions do, would almost offer a clear delineation as to essentially the two playoff teams and the rest in the Eastern Division. And it will be the same situation as last year, where the two New Jersey teams are battling it out for first place in the East. We'll show you the lineups in just a moment. We can tell you that the New Jersey Stallions lineup from yesterday has remained unchanged. The Yorkers have made two changes, as Derek Narine and Karen Vasodia are both out for this game, and Arya Garg, who was a subfielder yesterday, and Laksh Parikh are in the lineup for Yasser Muhammad's side. The umpires heading into the middle now. And the umpires in this game are Mihir Patel and Colin Edwards. Again, two very familiar faces in the Eastern Division in terms of umpiring. The temperature, we said it was slightly on the warm side. It's 76 degrees right now, and it feels like 79. The forecast high today is 82. It's roughly the same as it was yesterday. Of course, we're starting a little bit, about half an hour later, so it's a little warmer of a start than it was yesterday. And the wind is currently at 6 miles an hour with gusts to 12. And it says it's heading to the northeast, but I don't know what direction I'm sitting in, so you'll have to take my word for it. The Yorkers will have two more games. As we take a look at the points table, you see the Stallions on top by 2 points over the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers and the Philadelphians. The NYC Titans, as well as the Stallions, of course, have two games in hand on Philly and one ahead of the Cavs. Of course, both the Titans and the Eagles are off today, and they will be playing. At least the Titans will be playing their sixth game tomorrow, and then everybody will finish up next week. The Yorkers and the Eagles towards the bottom of the ladder there. Their season looks like it's going to come to an end next weekend, but both sets of players will be looking for the victories and trying to spoil the apple cart at the top. Here is the starting lineup for the Manhattan Yorkers. Yasser Muhammad, the captain, as we said. The two changes with Arya Garg and Laksh Parikh, the former Lone Star Athletic, coming in, and hoping that Manoj Acharya will take charge with the ball when they get the ball in the second half of this ball game. The Manhattan Yorkers, having sent the Stallions in the bowl yesterday upon winning the toss, decided, well, we're going to have the bat first. As for the Stallions, it's the same 11 who played yesterday. In, of course, Sai Mukamala having an absolute blinder with an 82. Dominic Ricci was 44 before he was run out. Looked like he was going to go for a half century. He's going to look for some redemption today. And Rushik Patel with a fourfer, having a fantastic performance. And in fact, how it was mostly spin that the Stallions used yesterday. It'll be interesting to see what kind of attack they use today. And it will be Jesse Singh, who wasn't really needed after the power play. And it will be, as we take a look at it, I believe it will be Dinesh Patel opening up with Pranav Chetapalliam. And the first ball of the game is Singh starts from the dog park end, is driven to mid-off, and there is no run. Dinesh Patel has been the best batter for the Yorkers this season. They did get through for a run. So he is off the mark, and Chetapalliam, who has had his struggles, and the 6 times he's come to bat so far this season, he has only made it out of double digits twice, but he has struggled at the top of the lineup for the men in blue and gold. Defended. Yesterday, they used Jesse Singh and Stephen Wigg pretty sparingly. Their two main quicks. Wigg only bowled 2 overs, and Jesse only bowled 2 as well. The two allowed just 28 runs in their combined 4 overs of work. You see Dinesh on the near side just practicing. He's antsy. On the pad, big shout, but just goes off to the far side. They come through for a single, and it is signaled as a leg by Mihir Patel. So Chetapalliam doesn't get off the mark, but he moves the scorecard along. He has had an 87 last season, and that by far is his best. He hasn't cracked 30 since. 3, 4, 2, 15, 17, a duck, and 9. That's how he has gone so far this season. Defended. And Patel takes a run. We've seen on this pitch yesterday, especially the Stallions in the early going, they were very tentative. And the Yorkers actually were ahead of where the Stallions were at the end of the power play yesterday by 10 runs. They had 35 to the Stallions 25. The Stallions really accelerated later on. And, of course, Mukamala coming in with that amazing performance on a day that saw him get more over the 1,000-run mark. And they were able to accelerate where the Yorkers floundered. Cut away, and it's a hurried run, but a run nonetheless. 1 ball still to come. And talking to some of the observers here yesterday, the question, I think, in terms of the success of the Yorkers has been what their batting, how their batting attack could do if they could be more consistent. They have the bowlers between Yasser Muhammad and Manoj Acharya and Arya Garg as well, who's bowled well. It just hasn't happened for them the last 2 years. Final ball of the first over. Coming, shuffling down the ground, chipped over Jesse Singh's head, and Dinesh Patel will retain the strike at the end of the first over. 6 balls complete. The Manhattan Yorkers are 5 for none.
Whoever you are on the field, the dream is what drives us. Gear up for your dreams. Shop now at dreamcricketstore.com.
Siddharth Matani will come into bowl from the Edinburgh Road end. He was 1 for 18 yesterday in just 3 overs of work. Half of his deliveries were dot balls, so a good performance from him. As we said, it was the spinners who really rode the Stallions to the victory in the second innings. And we'll see how they go today on this pitch. Opens up, does Dinesh Patel, and he strokes that one to long off for a 4. First boundary of the game. And so we said, we'll see how they do against the spin. Well, that's a great start for Dinesh. And he can only muster 12 runs yesterday off of 13 balls. But he's trying to take the initiative early. Manhattan is going to need to build up probably the score that they lost to yesterday. You would think. We've said that a good, and this is the same pitch that they used yesterday, I believe, so good score is probably in the 140, 150 range. Dinesh now 760 runs as he shuffles down the ground and drives it down the ground. It's another 4. And this time Dinesh scampered down, and it looked like a tee shot off the par 4 third at the golf course across the way. Except you don't move your feet in golf, but all the same, that looked pretty majestic. And so Dinesh Patel, I think, realizing that they're going to have to play aggressively against this Stallions bowling attack, especially the spinners, if they want to have any sort of hope of ending their unbeaten streak. Defended. Yesterday, by the way, was the first time since the opening 2 games of the series between these two back in 2021 that the Yorkers batted first. The Stallions had batted first in the last 5 matchups between the teams. So they reset the bails, and Mihir Patel just took a tumble. Hopefully he's okay. He was scampering backwards into his position, and I think that's Dominique Ricci, who is, no, in fact, it's Sachin Mailavarapu, who's, these guys, of course, Sachin is a New Jersey native. Mihir is local to the Trenton area. Everybody knows him, so good to see him get up. Man who just about always has a smile on his face. Was good to say hello to him today as Dinesh defends on this occasion to the onside. One ball still to come in the second over from Siddharth Matani. And this time it's turned to the onside. And it's caught. It is caught by Sachin Mailavarapu. So just right after he helped up the umpire, he comes to the rescue again. It was right down his throat. And Dinesh Patel once again cannot get going as he is dismissed for 11. Matani has a wicket, and at the end of 2, the Manhattan Yorkers are 13 for 1.
Whoever you are on the field, the dream is what drives us. Gear up for your dreams. Shop now at dreamcricketstore.com.
Devinish Sheth will now come in at number 3 as he's on the non-strikers end. Jesse Singh continues from the dog park end. And Pranav Chattopadhyay now with Dinesh gone will have to, the onus falls to him to try and put up a score, at least here in the power play. Devinish Sheth, 2 from 6 balls yesterday before edging to wicketkeeper Dhaliwal. And gets through as he went for a little stab shot but missed everything. And backed up nicely by Dominic Ricci. Ramanveer Dhaliwal behind the stumps once again for the Stallions. He played a very good game yesterday. He played a decent hand considering where he came in the lineup for to bat. But took a catch and had a stumping yesterday too. Well, that one skitters by everybody. And there was a quick peg at the stumps. But they got back. And that was awfully close. They really hustled there. We'll see it again. Just flicked off. And then diving back, Pranav just got his bat in. Ends up, they thought about it, but not able to take a run. So 3 dot balls to start here. Defended once again. We've mentioned it, I know I've mentioned it just about every time I've seen the Stallions play. They are one of the few teams in minor league cricket that has managed to keep its same core together. And, you know, Jesse Singh, there was a time when you'd see Stephen Wigg bowl this first over, and then Jesse would put himself in the middle. But, you know, he and the Stallions have managed to do what few teams in minor league cricket have done, and that is keep their power players together season after season. As this one is turned to the onside and will roll, it'll be stopped in the deep once again by Mila Varapu, who is now playing deeper. And there's the first run of the over with 1 ball to come. Manhattan 14 for 1. And we had 35 runs off the power play yesterday. Very similar conditions to what we were playing in yesterday. I would say it's probably a touch warmer today. Four players on the offside in the infield. They've got 3 players essentially. They have 2 players, one at long on, one off, aside from Jesse. They are at the edge of playing at the edge of that 35 yards restraining circle. And drubbed into the ground once again by Sheth. Jesse Singh doing Jesse Singh things, allows just 1 run. We're halfway through the power play after 3. The Manhattan Yorkers 14 for 1.
Whoever you are on the field, the dream is what drives us. Gear up for your dreams. Shop now at dreamcricketstore.com.
So Matani, who took the wicket of Danish Patel, will continue from the Edinburgh Road end. And Matani, I think, maybe a little unsung considering the amount of good bowlers they have. He's a good bowler himself, and this one is thwacked to the offside. It is stopped before the rope. They come through for a second. And in fact has gone through for 4. So Pranav Chetapalliam, I think he needed that as well to give him a little bit of confidence. As it was cut through the air and just landed about 4 feet in front of the rope. And this time he drives it down the ground. They go through quick zing at the stumps. But Pranav does well to get in and takes another run. Well, we mentioned yesterday, perhaps with them having Derek Narine, why having Derek Narine in there and at the in the openers, considering how well an opener Narine is. He's not in the lineup today, so we'll now see how Devanesh Sheth does. Fuller ball, and that one is cut away. They thought about it, but thought better of it. 4 men in the circle on the offside for Sheth. And they have 1 man at point. And whacked that one into his pads. Did Sheth. So after giving up the 4, Montani has come back for 1. Driven along the ground towards long on, and they'll take a single easily. 1 ball to come. Jesse Singh. Now in at slip here. They were able to coax an out yesterday off of that. A good ball, and just inside the tram lines ends the over. So Matani comes back. 6 given up by him. A pretty good over after 4. The Manhattan Yorkers are 20 for 1.
Whoever you are on the field, the dream is what drives us. Gear up for your dreams. Shop now at dreamcricketstore.com.
So here is Stephen Wigg. I like what the Stallions have. You can almost set your watch to it with Singh bowling the power play, and now Wigg the pace option, and that one had some hair behind it and confounds Sheth. And Stephen Wigg, who they didn't need him with the ball yesterday, but he took 3 really good catches, and none of them were particularly easy. And he ended up on his tuchus on all 3 occasions. Shorter ball. They're calling for the. They wanted it, and they got it. And so Stephen Wigg takes a wicket in his first over of work. It was feathered on to Ramdahal, and the Yorkers are 2 down inside the power play. Was keeping an eye on umpire Mahir Patel, and the finger goes up very slowly And it's the slow finger of death in this occasion, for metaphorically speaking. And that is the end of Devin Asheth, who, after going for 2 yesterday, pretty much goes in the same manner, edging to the wicketkeeper for 1. Here it is again, a half-hearted shot. It seemed like he was trying to work it away to the offside, but to no avail, and back he goes, and Deep Patel will now come out at number 4. Deep Patel yesterday came in at number 5, and he was the top scorer, 19 off of 23. Here comes Wig. And forcefully guided to the offside by Deep. See how they organize the field now. They've got 4 men on the offside and mid-on, backwards point. A mid-off and then a backwards point. They've got a mid-off. And again to the same spot. Again the same result, except this time Deep Patel thought he had a chance at a single. Here comes Wig again. Shorter delivery, and the same result, and Wig is not allowed to run in his first 5 balls of this 5th over. I know there's a bunch of really good quick combinations in the league. You'd have to argue that Stephen Wig and Jesse Patel might be 2 of the best. Wig with 65 wickets. As that one, they were looking for the catch, and was just in short. They were able to take a run off of that, and that ends it. So Stephen Wig not able to get a wicket maiden. He does give up just 1 run. The Stallions in control early on. The Manhattan Yorkers, after 5, are 21 for 2.
Whoever you are on the field, the dream is what drives us. Gear up for your dreams. Shop now at dreamcricketstore.com.
So Rishik Patel, a day after taking 4 wickets, is the secondary spin option from the Edinburgh Road end. And you'll definitely see Sachin Mailavarapu later on. But Patel opting to start off with a defensive posture early on. Does the same there. That was his best bowling performance yesterday in his short minor league cricket history. 4 for 15 from his 4 overs. This one is hit in the air to the offside. There's a man tracking back. It is, almost taking the catch. Again was Stephen Wigg. And I'll tell you what, if he would have made that, there would have been very few players that would have been able to touch him in terms of, I guess, maybe having the best weekend of the season as we look at it again. And I'll tell you what, he almost took a fourth catch yesterday. He had that tracked all the way, but just over his head. And he's gone. And Ruchik has taken another one, I believe, or have they? No. They got really excited about it. It looked like that he had played it onto the stumps, which is why I saw it. But to no avail. They were going for another something, and this one is played away. So everybody got really excited, including me. One ball still to come. And this one is driven down the ground. Ricky is there. Oh, he dropped it. Oh, my goodness. He doesn't drop very many of those. That one he should have had. They get a run out of it. And I'll tell you what, as soon as he hit it, I was focused in on him with the binoculars, and it looked like he had it, and it's going to bounce off of his hands. And a gift for the Manhattan Yorkers at the end of the power play, which they finish at 24 for 2. Wigg will continue from the dog park end after Ruchik Patel thought he had on 2 occasions, in fact almost on 3, he thought he had wickets. So after Chenapalium was dropped on 7, let's see how much of a lifeline that gives him. So the power play restrictions are now over, and the man at long off this time is it's Jesse Patel, who is at long on. And that one is edged, almost taken once again. That would have been a very difficult catch. But again, the Stallions fielders got their hands on one. So we see it again. Edge to point. And put down. Another good effort, though. I think, with the exception of that last one, all of the one at the end of the over, I think they were all it was a lot of challenge just to get to the ball. But again, as Deep Patel now on 5. Here comes Stephen Wigg. Hit into the ground. And some polite applause from his teammates. Stephen Wigg, based here in New Jersey. U.S. national team player. We said there was one other Eastern Division game happening. That's at 11:45 Eastern, so in about half an hour, Philly and the Cavaliers. And on the pads, and again, it's defended. And Wig again have only allowed 2 runs. I think batting first, and again, the conditions very similar to yesterday. Not the same, but very similar. It'll be interesting to see where they decide to go after this second over and after Patel's second over. Feathers a chance. That goes through to the keeper. Well, the 2 pace bowlers are bowling extremely well here. Jesse Singh allowing just 5 runs. Really all 4. Matani has given up 14, but again, probably belying a good spell for him in his first 2. This one is crushed to the onside. It is stopped at the deep, however. It was hit with power and authority, but not far enough, and it's one of those where it was hit so far and it came in so fast that they can only went out and in so fast that they only had time to take a single. So Chetapaliam goes to 8. Final ball of the 7th over on our way. And that one kept low and edged into the ground as it went behind Deep Patel. Wig, another good over. Gives up just 2. He is 1 for 3 after two overs, and after 7, the Manhattan Yorkers are 26 for 2.
Whoever you are on the field, the dream is what drives us. Gear up for your dreams. Shop now at dreamcricketstore.com.
So Patel will continue from the Edinburgh Road end after giving up 3 runs in his first over. And a couple of guys at mid-on for Pranav Chetapaliam. And they come in, they creep in. And this one is driven down the ground. And driven straight and true for a 6. With the naked eye, it didn't look like it was that difficult of a swing. It was easy and fluid. And Pranav gets the first maximum of the innings. He's on the 14. He's on the double digits, and I think that has to be a small mental hurdle for him. And this time he pops it up in the air, and almost we've seen so many times, a player smash an authoritative boundary, and then on the very next ball get dismissed. And this one is crushed, but a man is there, and he'll watch that one sail. It's back-to-back jacks for Pranav Chetapaliam, who, with Dinesh Patel going early, has had to take up the mantle of the lead batter. And he has surpassed Deep Patel's high from yesterday. He was the high batter with 19, and he's on to 20. And back towards the stumps, and this time it's just a quiet single. Well, where does Chetapaliam go for here? And Yasser Muhammad is lurking. Preet Shah, Adit Kappa. We'll see how Laksh Parikh does as well, but how Chattapalliam's innings goes, you think might be the way the Yorkers' inning goes. Deep Patel just guides it back to Rushik. One more ball to come. The Yorkers 39 for 2. They didn't get to triple digits until the last over yesterday. The game was well and truly gone, and he steers this one down the ground. And they did come through for a single. Good over by the Yorkers. They needed that. They get 14 off the over. At the end of 8, the Manhattan Yorkers, having won the toss and elected the batter, 40 for 2.
Whoever you are on the field, the dream is what drives us. Gear up for your dreams. Shop now at dreamcricketstore.com.
So the U21 star, Anirudh Emanuel, who was 1 for 12 yesterday in his 4 overs, takes the ball from the dog park end. And he gives the Stallions yet another look with that 45-degree angle approach. As we say, most of the bowlers who bowl this way, we usually see them bowl over the wicket. And defended well. Down the ground, chopped right back to Emanuel, who plays well defensively as well. He has good hands. Goes to cut this one away, and again, good bowling. Well, just cannot figure out that spin. So this seems to be the 5 that they have. And of course, they've been using Saimukamala as the occasional, the last couple of games where he's been good for an over. They come through for a single. 1 to go in this over. Anirudh Emanuel bowling well. And of course, you'll see Sachin Mailavarapu as well. So they have a good stable of 6 bowlers, and 4 of them spinners. And then when they use Saimukamala, he has a spin attack as well. An off spin, dab to the onside. Jesse Singh in the slip sees it go by him, and they will come through for an easy double. So they got runs at the end of the over, but all in all, it was a good over from Anirudh Emanuel, who gives up just 3. The Manhattan Yorkers after 9, 40, 3 for 2.
Whoever you are on the field, the dream is what drives us. Gear up for your dreams. Shop now at dreamcricketstore.com.
So last over before the drinks break. And it will be Siddharth Matani who will come back into the attack. Siddharth 1 for 14. You got Dinesh Patel, a big wicket in the early going. And an elbow shot by Deep Patel, guided to the offside. Stopped right in front of the boundary. So Deep Patel on 8 for 20. He's been the support man so far. This partnership up to 24 runs as the field changes for the left-handed batting Pranav Chetapalya. They don't have a slip in for him, but they have two men, and everybody kind of creeps in. And what we've seen here, as he defends that one, what we've seen, the fielders are generally, I would say, about 20 yards from where the wicket is, from where the striker's end is. And Mailavarapu and Jesse Singh sneak in as this one gets behind. It is Mailavarapu who has to come by and field it. As Deep Patel was, or rather Chetapalya did get an under edge to it. So another run for him. He's up to 24 off of 22 deliveries. He's got a good positive strike rate so far. And that one turned very suddenly on Deep Patel, and all he could do is dab it towards third man. Another single, and the Yorkers are content right now to do that, but at some point you would think, especially Chetapalya, would open up here. And tried to open up and thwacks a low delivery, a low pitched ball into the hands of Sachin Mailavarapu, who I'm sure we'll see at some point in the next couple of overs. One ball still to come for Siddharth Matani, who's 1 for 17. Final ball from him. A low for the reverse sweep, and it comes all the way down the fine leg. It will be stopped just short as Sachin Mailavarapu got on his horse and slings it back in and keeps the damage to just 2 runs. So Chetapalya is on to 26 now. And the Manhattan Yorkers at the drinks break, 10 complete. They're 48 for 2.
Whoever you are on the field, the dream is what drives us. Gear up for your dreams. Shop now at dreamcricketstore.com.
Everybody's had some liquid refreshment, and we're set to continue. Here at Mercer Park, Brian Barish here with you. Glad to, again, be a part of the coverage here at the ground. There will be 2 more matches next weekend featuring the Manhattan Yorkers here at Mercer County Park. They'll take on the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers. And at least from the Cavaliers' perspective, those games will have playoff implications. Annie Root Emanuel will continue from the dog park end after the Manhattan Yorkers won the toss and elected to bat after sending the New Jersey Stallions in yesterday and achieving a score of 168. So Emanuel has the ball. Well, he said, longtime member of the Philadelphians and their youth program. And when he was with the Philadelphians, he had floofy locks. And this one is taken down. The Mukamala coming in. He plays it, and it's an easy deuce for Deep Patel. And he goes to double digits after 22 balls. 11 off of 22. And that shot found that short mid off, as this time he continues to work that offside. And again, he's going to get another 2. So Deep Patel has started to come alive a little bit after playing second fiddle. That last 2 brought up the 50 and did so on the 61st ball of the innings. Well, their pace right now is exactly 100 runs. Defensive shot, but short enough and in the right spot for them to get a run as Matani fields late. So Chanapalian will come up. Well, the Yorkers, a team who, in the first couple of years of this league, had been towards the top. They made the playoffs in season 2021. And all the way to the conference final. Reverse sweep to the onside, and that sends everybody scattering. Stephen Wigg is there to field it right in front of the boundary. And another 2. So they've been getting them. They've been getting them in front of the boundaries here, and they have not been afraid to run. And that's done a good job of at least keeping the fielders on their toes. And dab to the offside, but not far enough to score a run. So it's been I think it's a good performance and a tough spot against, as we have said, a very good bowling attack here. Again for the reverse sweep, just feathers this one down towards long on. And that one will go all the way. And another 4, and so they've been hitting them to all parts. To the offside, reverse to the onside, and this time a sweep all the way through and under edge for 4. So Annie Root Emanuel, who had been bowling well, gives up 11 runs in this over. And it's a good over for the Manhattan Yorkers, as you saw, a good feather shot there. Sometimes all you need is to get a splinter or 2 on the bat. And Pranav Chanapalian did just that, and he is having a very good innings. He's 32 not out. At the end of 11, the Manhattan Yorkers 59 for 2. Well, this is Pranav's second best innings in minor league cricket, and that's by a country mile. The most he had was almost a year ago exactly, when he had 87. He generally averages just a shade under 13, and his strike rate for his career is 84.5. Stephen Wigg will now come in to re-enter the attack, this time from the Edinburgh Road end. We'll see how they do against pace. Patel plays it defensively and uses the momentum of Wigg's pace to take a run. Partnership now up to 40 runs. After Sheth was dismissed in the 5th over, it was 20 for 2 at the time. Saw 2 really good partnerships yesterday, both involving Sai Mukamala. Pranav guides it away, got by the fielder, and Matani had to really dig in to get that. He slid and maybe disturbed a family of worms on the way through. Got to hustle both offensively and defensively to get to and keep it to 2. In fact, it was Vrishik Patel. Oh, went the play at that one and just went inside the edge. Good comeback from Stephen Wigg. Sometimes, just about in any sport, and I think, baseball, when you look at some pitchers, when you look at their lines for each game, it's sometimes really hard to judge. And Wigg right now bowling he's bowling as well as his numbers are. But sometimes that's not the case. Went for a half-hearted swing. It gets by Ramdahal momentarily, but he was able to find it before the 2 men in the middle could take a run. 2 balls still to come. We'd hear the chatter from Vrishik Patel and from Sachin Mailavarapu. Tried to turn it to the inside. It came right. That time it was the Siddharth Matani. A quick thinking single. And 1 ball still to come. It'll be a busy week for the New Jersey Stallions next week. They get a couple of days rest, and then they play Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to end their season. The Yorkers only have the 2 games against New Jersey Somerset here. Again, went for that one, but missed it, and because it was behind the batter and no contact was made, it is given as a wide. So 1 to the total, and they'll get that one again. And that, I believe, it's only the 2nd wide. In fact, it was the 1st wide. There was a leg by given with very tidy bowling, and we see that a lot from the Stallions. And the good teams will keep those extras low. Chops this one down. Oh, they went for it. Let's see. No. They went for it as that was chopped into the ground. Ramdihal was, because of the pace, because it was a pace bowler, he was far back from it. But he did a good effort to at least scramble to the ball and have a half-decent peg at the stumps. As we see it again. You see where Ramdihal is. He has to scramble forward and then just got back. But I'll tell you, it was enough to make his heart skip a beat. They get the run, and it will be Deep Patel who will keep the strike. As Stephen Wigg has his most expensive over of the 3 he's bowled. He gives up 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 12 overs down. Manhattan are 65 for 2. A reminder, you can follow along with all the action, statistics, and things of that nature on social media. It is MILCUSA on Instagram, and on Twitter, they are MIL Cricket, and there's also on Facebook as well. Anirudh will bowl once again. They go to the non-striker's end, trying to catch Deep Patel napping, but they can't. 66 for 2. And Deep now 17 off of 27. Pranav 35 from 31, who's had a really good innings after Dinesh Patel lined out to Sachin Mailavarapu. And guided away. Like couldn't field it cleanly. If they did, Deep Patel would have been in some trouble, but there was no need for any alarm. And another single for Pranav. I'm actually pretty happy for him that he's doing this, because he's a key member of this Yorker side, and he is very dependable behind the stumps. Feathers this one, but it was stopped once again by Rushik. Always fan of a man, I'm not wearing mine today, but a fan of a man with queer frames, especially when they're playing sport with them. 3 balls to come, 13th over. Went to go for the 4th stump, and Deep Patel was reading that well, but the execution doesn't come off as he tried to swat it away. The offside fielder's creeping in on the delivery. Again tapped down, but again stopped. Good bowling by Anirudh Emanuel here. He'll have 1 over left. We still have not seen Sachin Mailavarapu. Comes up on his fists, and all he can do is fight it away. And that ends the over. 2 runs surrendered by Emanuel in that over. At the end of 13, the Manhattan Yorkers are 67 for 2. As we look at Anirudh Emanuel's statistics here, he has played in all 5 seasons in minor league cricket. After the first 3 years with Philadelphia, he's played the last 2 here with the New Jersey Stallions. And overall, he has taken a grand total of 14 wickets, which seems low. He's been used relatively sparingly with the Philadelphians, although he didn't have as much success. Siddharth Matani set the ball from the Edinburgh Road end. This will be the end of his spell. Big, big shout. But to no avail, as that one probably was coming down leg. We'll see it again. Yeah, definitely had a leg side line. A little check swing. Thankfully for Pranav Chetapalliam, didn't get any contact to it. Ramnehal hung on, but he'll stay in. Good bowling in this final over for Siddharth Matani. Reverse sweep. Oh, almost stopped by Rushik Patel. But he did well to contain the damage. Had it gotten by him, that would have most certainly have been 2 or 3, if not 4. That was hit with some pace. Meanwhile, Chetapalliam now goes to 37. And a good weekend for the Stallions defensively, both in the field. That one Dominic Ricci drop aside. as Patel drives that into the ground. And remember that Pranav Chetapalyan was dropped on 7, so he's been given an extra life or two, and he has made the most of it. You didn't know what to expect from this Yorkers team batting first. Link delivery, again dabbed into the ground. Sachin came up with it, ready to fire it back in quickly. The run rate is at exactly 5 and over with 1 ball to come in the 14th. They are on target again for exactly 100. I don't know if that's a winning score against this New Jersey Stallions team, but stranger things have happened. Cut away through the air, 1-2 hops, but they had a fielder stationed there, and he made it as it was Sai Mukamala who was waiting all the way. And he stops it before it could go over the boundary. That does, however, bring up the 50 partnership between Pranav Chetapalyan and Deep Patel, and I must say it's been pretty impressive in spite of the slow rate that the scoreboard has ticked along. They are overall going for 5 and over. They're 70 for 2 after 14. .58 balls between the two. Chetapalyan has contributed 31 runs, and Deep Patel 18. Pranav has definitely been the man in charge when it comes to the direction of the two in the middle, as Anirudh Emanuel will bowl the final ball of his spell. And the first ball comes in. He's got to scamper back, but it's an overthrow, and they'll get in. And another uncharacteristic error for the Stallions in the field. Sorry, there was a lantern fly there. If there wasn't so much equipment around here, I would have squished it, but that's besides the point. I thought we were done with lantern flies here in the Northeast. I guess we're not. There was one just taking up residence on top there, and that one is smack down the ground, but right into the hands of a waiting Sai Mukamala. Another single, 72 for 2. Now look at the run rate, kind of how they've done here. The run rate had stabilized at about 5 and over. Its highest was at 6 and over. And that's when the first wicket fell of Dinesh Patel. Since then, it has really kind of woven in between, I would say, 4.5 and 5.5. Another reverse sweep, and again it gets by the fielder. And goes all the way. It's another 4. They've had success with that reverse sweep. A lot of times the other shoe drops and it ends up costing them, but no such problem on that occasion. And it's another 4 for Pranav Chetapalyan. That's his 3rd. He's up to 43. Pranav, most of his runs have come between the wickets. He has just 3 4s and 2 6s. And he laces this one with some power. The fielder does a good job at Stephen Wigg out there, I believe. And again, they'll take another couple. He's come very close. They've hit a lot of long balls to the fielders that are stationed out on the boundary. So it's been good planning and good position, but at the same time, the Yorkers are taking advantage to keep the score going. Another reverse sweep, and this one is authoritative, and it is just short for a 4. And Pranav Chetapalyan is now 1 run short of a second-half century, but the Yorkers, the run rate is starting to pick up a little bit. That's good for them. 15 overs in the books, and the Yorkers are 82 for 2. The run right now on 5.5, and Pranav Chattopadhyay in a shot that maybe you only see a player do a handful of times in a match has pulled it out of his back pocket and has gotten some modicum of success from it. The partnership now on 62. We saw the New Jersey Stallions, as we said in the game yesterday, finish on 168. Here is a look at the partnership, as we said, 62 from 64. And you would want to see the partnership be maybe what we say a positive strike rate over 100. That is more than a run a ball. But the fortitude of these two, especially Pranav Chattopadhyay, who, as we said, has been struggling this season to get going from the opener spot. This is by far, and as we said, it's his second highest showing. But for a team who has struggled the last couple of years, this is good news and good to see. Well, Jesse Singh will come back in. They didn't need him for more than 2 overs yesterday, but I think they need a breakthrough here. And perhaps he'll try and get to the middle of the lineup if he can pick up a wicket. Stroke down the ground through the hands once again of Dominique Ricci. That one was a little bit tougher than the one he put down earlier. But a good job by Deep Patel to use the pace. And just a straight drive. Just to the offside. Ricci this time, though, had to come forward several steps rather. So here is Pranav now on 49. Or check that, they had gone for 2. So Deep Patel still up on 21. Pranav waiting on the other side on 49. Again, positioning Dominique Ricci. They have a man on the onside down at the boundary. Man at third man and a man at a short fine leg. But most of if he can pull the ball to the onside, then at least he might be able to take a single. But the Stallions are banking on him cutting the ball away to square. And possibly to third man. And just got under that one, but it was just short of Ramdahal. Stopped by Siddharth Matani before it could get to the rope, so another single. And it was one of those where had Ramdahal been maybe 2 steps closer than he was, he would have had a pretty straightforward shoestring catch. But as it is, it's a single, and here it now is Pranav Chattopadhyay on 49 from 41. Sixteenth over, Manhattan 85 for 2, right now on a pace for 110. And it is Jesse Singh who has allowed just 7 runs, and that one was given as a leg by. Missed everything. And he was trying to guide it once again and just beat the outside edge. So a little bit of tension. I know Pranav has to be thinking. He knows it'll be his second 50 if he can do it. And I'll tell you what, if he gets it, he will have earned it. Again, went for a flail on a ball on a 4th stump line. And again, Jesse Singh winning this battle. Run rate again dipping down under 5.5. Now he has to cut this one on the inside. Will they get it? Yes, they do. And there it is. It's a half century for Pranav Chetapaliyam. A hard-earned half century, and one that was a very big one for his team, having lost his opening partner, Dinesh Patel. And it is acknowledged with polite fanfare, but there is still work to be done. So 50 off of 44 for Pranav Chetapaliyam. His second in his minor league cricket career. And it comes with one ball to come in the 16th over. Deep Patel now on strike from the right side. Feathers that one. And went for it but missed it. And into the hands safely of Ravindra Ramdahal. 4 runs off that over for Jesse Singh, who is a lot in his command. Again, he hasn't taken a wicket, but he's only given up 8 through 3. 16 overs complete. The Manhattan Yorkers 86 for 2. We head around the grounds and take a look at the other game happening in the Eastern Division right now. They are underway at Glenville, the New York Ovals, and the Philadelphians, well, they needed a victory. They need a victory to keep pace with everything happening in the top. They've had 3 straight wins, but things are not looking good. After 5 overs, they are 29 for 3 against the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers. Ryan Scott gone for 6. Omkar Zope, who had a half century yesterday, gone for 1. And Aditya Ganesh also gone for 6, as Abdullah Ghazi has taken 2 wickets already. So the Philadelphians in some trouble, and I think the Stallions will be happy to see one less team in their rearview mirror other than the Cavaliers. Rushik Patel is taken downtown. It is away for a 6, blasted by Pranav Chetapaliyam, who is not content to go out on 50. His 3rd maximum. Cool as you like, and no doubt just to the left of the commentary tent. And he says, let's open up again. And it's the same result, back-to-back jacks for Chetapaliyam. So Rushik Patel, who had a 4 for yesterday, gets absolutely rocked. And this is the acceleration that I think the Yorkers were hoping to come a little bit sooner. There's a little bit of a conference now with Jesse Singh talking to Rushik Patel. Just trying to calm him down. He said he had a fantastic day yesterday, but Pranav Chetapaliyam having a day here. He's up to 62. And the Yorkers, as we said, were curious as to what kind of total they were going to put up after they ended up with 105 for 9 in their 20 yesterday. There's another reverse sweep. This time, it doesn't come off. But he's still up there. Down the ground. It is, look, whoa, whoa. What'd I ever do to you, man? That landed maybe, I've got maybe 3 feet of table to my left here, and that maybe missed the table by about a good, I would say, 10 inches. But that is the 3rd 6 of the over. Yeah, it was right there. 3rd 6 of the over for Pranav Chetapaliyam, who now is up to 68, and nobody and nothing is safe. No regard for human life or anything else. whatsoever. And he has to play a dot ball here. And that has brought up the 100, by the way, with all these shenanigans and goings on. And the Manhattan Yorkers get their 3 overs earlier than they did last time. But this time he's out. Right down his throat. And it's Sai Sudan Durisami, who is a sub-fielder, a U21, and thus ends the offensive afternoon of Pranav Chetapaliyam. But he can be proud, and he went out at this point. When you're 68, you just have to, you can essentially are playing with free money here. So 6 wicket. And Rushik Patel, who had a 4 for yesterday, finally picks up his first wicket. He's now 1 for 35. He'll have an over left. So the end of the 17th over, and the Manhattan Yorkers, as Pranav goes back and gets some plaudits from his team, they're 104 for 3 with 3 overs to come. In the end, it's an 84-run partnership between Pranav Chetapaliyam and Deep Patel. Deep Patel was the Ed McMahon to Pranav Chetapaliyam's Johnny Carson on that occasion. Pranav, 61 off of 39 in that partnership. Deep Patel facing 37 balls, so just 2 fewer than Pranav did, but only managing 21. But now Yasser Muhammad, the captain, and Yasser yesterday just 4 runs. He was one of Rushik's victims, as Stephen Wigg will come in to bowl his final over. Wiggy 1 for 9. And this one is popped up. A fielder ranging over, but he won't get there. It finds a fair bit of green as Anirudh Emmanuel comes over and slings it back in. So Deep Patel adds another 1 to his total. That's another 2. So 106 for 3. And I think they might see what they have here. They're on a pace for 122. Driven down the ground, and that is a 6. So another maximum for a team that was struggling, sometimes has struggled on this ground to hit them. And Deep Patel says, "Deep's my name, Deep's my game." 112 for 3. And Deep now 29 off of 40. His first 6. Chetapaliyam, by the way, 68 off of 50, 4 4s and 5 6s. What an innings from him. And Deep this time dabs to the offside. That's been most of his shots, has been that little dink play to the offside. 113 for 3, and you can hear Siddharth Matani urging his team to finish strong. Well, they don't have a conventional slip in. It's more of, again, in that deep backward point region. For the left-hander, Yasser Muhammad. Fuller toss, pushed forward. Right back to Stephen Wigg. Well, that's the only real blemish on Stephen Wigg's resume. That's 6. He is 1 for 18. And Siddharth Matani already bowled out 1 for 12, and it looks like the Stallions may keep to that 5-man rotation. They haven't needed Sachin Mailavarapu, and it doesn't look like they're going to use him. in on the wicket, and this one is hit in the air. Anirudh Emanuel squeezes it. And that will do it for Yasser Mohammed, who is dismissed for a 2-ball duck. Stephen Wigg finishes the afternoon 2 for 18. It was a agricultural type shot. When Anirudh Emanuel, once he spotted it, safe hands. Beg your pardon. It was Hamraj. It's Hamraj who made the catch, but Wigg gets his second wicket, and that is the end of the 18th over. 113 for 4. Thought I was Australian for a minute, but now they will, in fact, bring in Sachin Mailavarapu. So Sachin will bowl the 18th, and you would imagine, or the 18th, and you imagine he'll probably bowl the 20th. Rushik has an over left, and Jesse Singh has an over left. So, let's see here. All these bowlers with these for the Stallions who are in the top 10 in the wickets category. Well, this one is smacked to the onside. This one will go and sail for 6. Deep Patel. And he's inching closer to a half century. He goes to 36, 119 for 4. And he has played strongly. And now that he has been out there for some time, and he is the senior of the two batters in the middle right now. It's been him who now is starting to show some authority. As Sachin comes over to talk to his captain. Mailavarapu, we'll talk about him in a second here. And looking for a similar type of shot, except he ends up topping it. And they're going to look for 2 and get there easily. Another 2 for Deep Patel, who's now on to 40. Or check that, he's on to 38. 121 for 4. Sachin Mailavarapu was not available for the championship weekend 3 years ago because that was the weekend he was getting married, and the Stallions definitely missed him. Stroke to the onside. Stopped again by Stephen Wigg on a hop. Wigg's been very active. He took a couple of really good catches yesterday. 3, as we said. He's already taken a couple of wickets, so he's been very involved defensively. Big swing, it gets by. That's Dhruv Pawar, by the way, who's now in at number 6. And it's been given as a wide. So a wide and a run. 2 more to the total. 124 for 4. Still 3 balls to come in the 19th over. Went for it and had his back foot planted in the crease. So Sachin will only bowl the 1 over here in the 19th, and then again will be interesting to see who they come back with in the 20th. See if they decide to go with spin or if they go with pace. Driven down the ground, drops right in front of the man in Doraisamy, who hustled to get over and cut the ball off nicely. 1 ball still to come in the 19th. Manhattan 125 for 4, and a couple of overs ago, it looked like they were going to struggle to get the 100, but Pranav Chattopadhyay's performance took care of that, and this one is turned to the onside where Dhruv Pawar will keep the strike So a single to end the 19th over. The Manhattan Yorkers 126 for 4. Well, here's how this is the Manhattan chart for the Manhattan Yorkers. Funny how that works. And you can see after the power play, that just like the Stallions yesterday, that's pretty much been where the Yorkers have found their support, but it really has come in the death overs. In the last 5 overs heading into this 20th is where they've really accelerated. And you would tend to think, though, having seen the Stallions put up 168 yesterday, that you still might favor them. But again, depends on how they read this pitch and how the Yorkers bowl. It is Jesse Singh, the bowl, the final over. Full toss, and that one was an excuse me single as it was in on his hands a bit. And Drew Perwar goes to 2 from 2. Perwar batted yesterday and was there at the end alongside Manoj Acharya, 3 not out. But he comes in at the end here, except in a much more advantageous position. 5 balls to go, and here is Deep Patel on 40. See how aggressively he plays. Short ball, whack to the onside. The fielder comes around and stops it. They're looking for 2. Well, they got it. 42 for Deep Patel, 4 balls left. I think the Yorkers, it looks like, barring something incredibly defensive here, it looks like they'll at least get to 130, which I think is a pretty respectable score. Whether it'll be a winning score, we'll know in about an hour and a half time. But here's Deep Patel again. This time he cuts it away. Drops in. They thought about 2, but Drew Perwar got about halfway down, saw that his partner was not. Stopped again by Hamraj. 3 balls to come. Drew Perwar with Deep Patel, and I must say I've been very impressed with how Pranav Chetapaliyam and Deep Patel have handled their batting. Three balls still to come. Oh, very short ball, and given as a wide on height. That one was I don't know why. I mean, that seemed pretty clear to me. You know, it was over his head by the time he got it, and Colin Edwards seemed pretty sure about it, and I'll be honest, I'm not the most knowledgeable guy on cricket, but that looked like a wide to me. It looked like he bowled it. He's still arguing with him. Well, we've seen a lot of the captains. We've seen him. We've seen a couple of the captains in this Eastern Division really kind of have prolonged discussions with umpires about individual calls. Still 3 balls to come. Manhattan 131 for 4. Another full toss and driven down the ground. Hamraj stops it at long off. It's another single. Well, it is still possible for Deep Patel to get a half century. He has 2 balls left in this over. And he's going to need a 6 off of one of them. Or I guess 2 4s will do it. But he's going to need a boundary in one of the 2. 2 balls to come. Jesse Singh from the Edinburgh Road end. Short ball smacked down the ground. They'll take one. They're going to come in, and there's two more. Oh, he was out. He caught it. Oh, he's run out. Sorry. He caught him in time. Sorry. So he went for the second, hoping to get the opportunity. But in the end, they are 132 for 5. Here it is again. This is a good throw. And it was a direct hit. Oh, that's how it is. It was an absolute direct hit. And it was Stephen Wigg. He is having a great weekend defensively, Stephen Wigg. Manoj Acharya is in. He'll face the final ball. So it's a 1 and a wicket. And Acharya is out, and that's 2 wickets by Jesse Singh. Of course, he'll only get credit for 1, but he gets the last 2 men out as Manoj Acharya goes for a golden duck. And a lot of things happening. The Manhattan Yorkers finish at 133 for 6. A look at the scorecard here. Pranav Chattopadhyay, though the story 68 off of 50. Deep Patel thought he'd have the opportunity to get the half century, but he ends up being caught out by Hamraj on 44 off of 50. But a great innings from him. Those two stoke the Manhattan Yorkers to a total of 133 for 6. Here's the bowling. Stephen Wigg ends up getting 2 wickets, 2 for 18. Jesse Singh getting 1 right at the end, 1 for 15. He bowled well. Siddharth Matani 1 for 22. Sachin Mailavarapu was expensive in his 1 over for 13, and Rushik Patel 1 for 35. Anirudh Emanuel bowled well in spite of that 7-point economy rate, and the 2 wickets falling at the end. A target set by the Manhattan Yorkers of 134 for the Stallions. The run rate just over a run of the ball. The Stallions are capable of doing it. We'll see if they do it at the end of this break. We'll be back for the second innings. You're watching the 2025 Minor League Cricket Championship here on the MLC Network.
Whoever you are on the field, the dream is what drives us. Gear up for your dreams. Shop now at dreamcricketstore.com. whoever you are on the field. A dream is what drives us. Gear up for your dreams. Shop now at dreamcricketstore.com.
And we're back at Mercer County Park in West Windsor Township, New Jersey. 2025 Minor League Cricket Championship here on the MLC Network. The New Jersey Stallions coming out to bat. Their goal, 134 runs from 20 overs. An asking rate of a little more than a run a ball at 6.7 runs per over. My name is Brian Barish. Great to have you along and settle in. This should be a fantastic run chase. Question is can the Manhattan Yorkers now stem this very good and very talented batting attack from the New Jersey Stallions? And if they can do so, it would keep the Stallions undefeated, or at least hand them their first loss. The Stallions at 5-0. And it looks like their challenge for a third Eastern Division title is going to come from the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers as they take on the Philadelphians up in New York, and they have them strangled at 73-6 at the end in the 14th over. Dominique Ricci waits on the striker's end. Manu Zaccaria will begin proceedings from the Edinburgh Road end, and he paces one past the Guyanese opener, who had 44 yesterday off of 36. He had 4 5s and a maximum. And Akshay Hamraj, who was limited to 2 off of 7 deliveries, waits on the other end. And that one was bowled behind, so Manu Zaccaria went wide on the first, went with a wider delivery on the first ball that he bowled, comes back in the other direction, but this time because it goes behind the batter and there was no contact made, it is given as a wide, so the Stallions get their first run. Driven down the ground, and a no doubt 4. So Dominique Ricci gets off the mark. And for Dominique, his 139th boundary in minor league cricket. He is towards the top of the batting table in a lot of different categories. He's in the top 10 in number of runs. He's number 6 with 1,409 as he stands in from the right side. Dabbed back. That one is hit. Stopped nicely in the infield. Yasser Muhammad zings it back in, but to no avail. They do get a run, however. And Ricci's now on 5, and that'll bring up Akshay Hamraj. Akshay 109 runs this season, including a high of 78 on opening weekend. Length ball into the hands of Pranav Chattopadhyay. 1 ball still to come. Good pace by Acharya. Sixteen fours so far this season. Now smacked 5 maximums. Defensive shot. And that ends the over. 6 allowed by Manu Zaccaria, chasing 134. The New Jersey Stallions, after the first, are 6 for none.
Whoever you are on the field, the dream is what drives us. Gear up for your dreams. Shop now at dreamcricketstore.com.
Arya Garg will get the ball. And And so the Yorkers opting for pace at both ends as Garg will bowl from the dog park end. And Aria, yes, on last Monday in the shortened game, the 7-over contest against the Philadelphians, perhaps very unfortunate to not close out the victory. He gave up, there were 2 byes as the Philadelphians needed 5 to win from the final 3 balls. There were 2 byes, and Raymond Ramrotan was able to stroke a 4 off a defensive miscue to give Philly the victory. On the first delivery, just tapped into the ground in a single. Aria not in the full lineup yesterday. He was in as a sub fielder. U21 player. Played previously with the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers. His 3rd season in minor league cricket. And again, a short delivery that didn't get much lift after it pitched. And again, what's interesting about innings like this is you look at a score that the score that the Yorkers put up, and it was again, it was looking like they were going to struggle to get over 100, and they finished at 133. Tapped defensively by Hamraj. They'll get 1. They are going to trot through for the second as it just skitters across, getting behind Yasser Muhammad. So 2 for Hamraj, who is now off the mark. And the question always has to be asked in these 20-over games, what is the pitch going to be like when you look at a score? Is it good bowling or is it good batting? Oh, off the hands of Aria Garg. He almost had one caught and bowled. I don't know that I would consider that a drop, but it did just hit his index finger as he was coming through. Ends up being a single. And I always feel like when you ask, we'll say, well, was this the result of is it bowling? Is it the pitch? Is it, the skill of the batting? The question is always answered after the game is over in the final analysis. There's always a lot of wondering and a lot of asking, but you won't know after all 40 overs. Dabbed in the ground on the offside. 1 ball still to come. The Yorkers with 3 men inside on the offside, standing by the wicket. They have a man deep on both the 2 that they can have outside the circle. One is on the onside, one is on the offside, one at deep square, one at deep mid-wicket. Defensive shot, but again using the momentum of the fast delivery to send the ball down the ground, and they run through. In fact, it's been given as a no ball. So it will be a... I saw that. Yeah, I saw there was a no ball. The question is, it should be a free hit. So 1 to the total plus the 1, and a free hit upcoming. Tell you what, I think this might be only the 2nd free hit or 3rd free hit that I've called in 6 games this season, so it's not like you see it very often. So this is a free hit, and again, the only way that they can record an out defensively is if it's a run out. And a big swing. He was going for a long-distance connection on that one, but Aria Garg gets the payback. At least he neutralizes it on the free hit, and that ends the over. The Stallions add 6 more to the total after 2. They're 12 for none.
Whoever you are on the field, the dream is what drives us. Gear up for your dreams. Shop now at dreamcricketstore.com.
Third over begins with a loud appeal and an LBW. And Dominique Ricci has to go. Manoj Acharya gets a wicket. That is a huge, huge get. Absolutely plumb. And the finger goes up, and Dominique Ricci will not build the total that he had yesterday. 44 in the opening matchup. Gone LBW by Manoj Acharya for 7. And the New Jersey Stallions, for the second day in a row, have lost an opener early. And they are 12 for 1 in the third over. Yesterday, they lost Akshay Hamraj. In the third over, they were 14 for 1, so it's a somewhat similar situation. Now Sai Mukamala, who enters the game again at the same juncture he did yesterday, where he and Ricci built a solid partnership of 53 runs. Of 50 runs. It was him and Christian Thurton who had 53. And then Ramanveer Ramdeval, and he put on 40 more runs before Ramdahal was dismissed. Sai Mukamala, #23rd in MILC history in runs scored with 1,071. And he leads the Eastern Division with 232. Trying to turn it to the onside, but to no avail. And so Manoj Acharya, who also is creeping up the list as well on the defensive side. And that one sails by us a wide for Manoj Acharya, his second. So a run added to the total, but again, trying to establish a target on the fourth stump line. Manoj Acharya now in a three-way tie for 7th. He and two other guys who have bowled in this game, Stephen Wigg and Sachin Mailavarapu, all have 67 wickets. And they are 3 behind the guy in front of him, which is Shadley Van Skulkvik. Sai works it to the offside. And they trot through for a single. So Mukamala off the mark. And Sai, it took him a fair bit of time yesterday before he finally got going, as he and Dominique Ricci slowly built up their partnership, mostly after the power play had ended. And when you only require less than 7 and over, you can afford to have the patience. Swung through it. The question is did he get... There's a lot of screaming going on by Manoj Acharya. He really, really thought that Sai Mukamala had a piece of that. But he didn't. Well, they thought if they would have gotten Akshay Hamraj, if they would have gotten Akshay Hamraj, that would have been a big, big call. And they were very convinced, at least they were trying very hard to convince Colin Edwards of that. Driven to the onside. One ball still to come. $15 for 1 with Mukamala set to face the final delivery. Another short delivery that Mukamala has to guide aside. Good bowling by Manoj Acharya, gives up just 3, but he also takes the wicket of Dominique Riki halfway through the power play. They are chasing 134. The Stallions after 3 are 15 for 1.
Whoever you are on the field, the dream is what drives us. Gear up for your dreams. Shop now at dreamcricketstore.com.
So the double-sided pace attack will continue. Arya Garg, this one is flayed away to the offside, but it's Adit Kappa, who made his debut yesterday, who makes the stop in the deep. They pick up a run. Hamraj now on 5. And Adit Kappa, none for 26 yesterday, but again, a situation where the numbers don't really tell the story. Thought he bowled a couple of really good overs. And Yasser Muhammad, the captain, just saying, let him bowl, let him do his thing. Don't put too many words in his head. In the air, catches the call, but it will drop safely. And again, Kappa has the field in the deep. They keep the line moving. 17 for 1. We mentioned the weather at the start. It is now up to 80 degrees after it was about 73 when it started. The winds holding at 6 miles an hour with gusts of 12, and that's about what it's going to be the rest of the day. It's a little warmer than it was yesterday, but that breeze kind of neutralizes things. Long delivery that didn't get much pitch, and it's driven along the ground. $18 for 1. After the power play yesterday, the Stallions were 25 for 1. And it ended up after Mukamala pretended he was Godzilla and went about destroying most things in his path. At the end of this power play, the Yorkers were 24 for 2. And that one gets by and goes all the way to the rope. And it's a 4. He did just get a feather edge on this one, and all the way as he gave chase, did Drew Pawar, but it went all the way to the boundary. 22 for 1, and Sai Mukamala gets his first 4. See the field changing up. Sai Mukamala, by the way, so far is 5th in the number of fours, and this one is sent pretty well to the onside. And another 4 to the total for Saimu Kamala. Back-to-back boundaries. And he is seeing Arya Garg very well. Thank you. Nice fluid stroke just to the right of center. Beats the long-on fielder in this power play formation. 26 for 1. Cut away, worked away to the offside. There is no run. 4-8, 11 runs off of Arya Garg. The New Jersey Stallions need 108 more to win. After 4, they're 26 for 1.
Whoever you are on the field, the dream is what drives us. Gear up for your dreams. Shop now at dreamcricketstore.com.
Dhruv Pawar will bowl for the first time. And he'll bowl from the Edinburgh Road end. First spin. We'll see the field that they sent up for them. They have one slip in. And it's Devonish Sheth. Seems like one slip is the standard. Well, we saw the Stallions at times play with a second one as Hamraj opens up and cuts it away. So he goes to 7. And it'll be a matter of, can the Yorkers, if they can just make another little breakthrough here in the next couple of overs, I think that might give them a little bit more confidence to cause what would be an upset. Chipped in the air, and Dinesh Patel, I think it handcuffed him. He started to go after the ball. I think he was expecting it to go the other direction, and was keeping an eye on him as he was down on one knee by the time the ball sailed past him. 2 more for Saimu Kamala. Shorter delivery. There is no run. As we say, we're keeping an eye on the other game in the division today, and then the Philadelphians 101 for 9 against the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers, as this one is cut away. Everybody coming in, but they'll get a run in spite of that. So 13 for Mukamala. And if that holds, and again, we're just looking at the score there. And the Cavaliers, if they can come away with a victory, they would be on 10 points for the moment, tied with the Stallions, as this one doesn't pierce the infield, 1 ball to come. They'll be on a tie with the Stallions for now. If the Stallions can win, then there'll still be a game and a half of New Jersey Somerset. Big swing. And no dice, as they were hoping to catch him napping for the stumping, but to no avail. And that will end the over. 4 given up by Dhruv Pawar. Good over from him. After 5, the New Jersey Stallions are 30 for 1.
Whoever you are on the field, the dream is what drives us. Gear up for your dreams. Shop now at dreamcricketstore.com.
Added Kappa will get the ball for the first time today. He'll bowl from the dog park end. The Stallions needing 104 runs off the final 15 overs, and this being the last over of the power play. Long on, long off. And we'll try that again. Full toss, and it was a chip shot, but right to the man at mid-wicket. No run. Went to steer that one on and gets a run. So Saimukamala on the 14. It's been a very cagey approach again in the power play, and they're a couple of runs ahead of where they were yesterday, and they're 7 runs ahead of where the Yorkers were at this point, or at the end of this over, so they're doing okay, and there's no real rush. Fuller delivery that just eludes Siddharth Kappa, and then Yasser Muhammad juggled it for a second. And good job by the defense to protect a run from scoring. And Added Kappa, listed here as a domestic player, as opposed to the wild card, domestic wild card, U21, U19, free agent. There's all these designations to kind of keep things as even as possible or as fair as possible in minor league cricket. Full toss. Oh, almost. He got higher than Joe Cocker to try and take that one, but it goes for 4. And here it is again. I believe that was Derek Narayan, who was in as a sub. He got very, very high and just eluded him. Same shot, except this time it's in the air. Yasser Muhammad is coming in, but it's caught. Not by Yasser Muhammad, but rather by Dinesh Patel, who makes the catch, and the Stallions have lost the second wicket, and it's Akshay Hamraj who has to go on 11. That is a huge, huge breakthrough, and Kappa has his first wicket in minor league cricket. He is 1 for 5, and the Stallions 35 for 2. Thing went up straight up in the air. I saw both players converge, and Dinesh Patel comes over and squeeze it. Good catch, and way to hold on to it, too. There it was. You could tell he had got under it just a little bit too much. An infield pop-up and the celebration. They all get around. Added Kappa. So 35 for 2. And now it is the wicket keeper in Ramanveer Dhaliwal. And Dollywall yesterday. And a relatively short stay. He was run out by Preet Shah for 8 off of 7 deliveries. Well, the DLS par score is only 38, so they are 3 behind that right now. And when you're the Manhattan Yorkers, you have a little bit of a belief. And Pranav Chanapaliam, I think, stoking that with that 68. Good bowling. Good bowling as that one finishes the over. Well, he gave up a 4, but he took a big, big wicket of Akshay Hamraj did out at Kappa. The power play comes to an end. The New Jersey Stallions are 35 for 2.
Whoever you are on the field, the dream is what drives us. Gear up for your dreams. Shop now at dreamcricketstore.com.
And it looks like Yasser Muhammad, and in fact it is, the captain will take the ball. And Yasser Muhammad yesterday, none for 20 in 3 overs of work. And Sai Mukamala now. He was alongside Dollywall for a 40-run partnership, and he gets 1 run off of it as the fielding restrictions have been lessened. And Ramdahal was only out with Mukamala a total of 16 balls, of which he faced 7 yesterday for his 8. Mukamala, meanwhile, was 31 off of 9 in that partnership yesterday. Still early days, but the Yorkers are hanging around. And Ramdahal pushes that one forward back to the bowler. It's a good ball from Yasser Muhammad. On this beautiful Sunday afternoon here in central New Jersey. And if you're in the area, we'll be back here next Sunday for 2 more of the final 2 games of the regular season. Fuller toss ends up being a Yorker-length delivery. And Dollywall unable to do anything with that. We saw on socials yesterday, Captain Jesse Singh giving Dollywall his cap. Big! He's got him! He's bowled. It's a huge wicket. Down goes another one as Dollywall goes down for a 4-ball duck. Yasser Muhammad has the breakthrough. The crowd to our right explodes with cheers. And they are 36 for 3, and they very much have the opening. Oh, that was a nasty, nasty leg break. That thing turned something fierce and catches the top of the off stump. Great bowling. And Yasser Muhammad 1 for 1 from 4 balls, and the Stallions 36 for 3. So Christian Thurton will come in. And Thurton yesterday was 18 off of 14, but was a part of the highest partnership of the afternoon. He and Sai Mukamala were out there for 53 runs as part of the 3rd wicket partnership. Well, this might be a critical juncture And I think if the Yorkers can get one more, they might be well and truly on top in this game. Their 11 runs are the Stallions behind the DLS par score. They need 98 off of 80. Still achievable, but this is going to be a very, very pivotal partnership in the context of this game. Full toss, stroked to long off. And Thurton begins his outing with a single. Final ball of the 7th. Turn to the onside. And Mukamala will keep the strike after coming through with a single. Yasser Muhammad gets the wicket of Ramdahal. And the New Jersey Stallions, this game very much alive on both sides after 7. The Stallions, needing 96 to win, are 38 for 3.
Whoever you are on the field, the dream is what drives us. Gear up for your dreams. Shop now at dreamcricketstore.com.
So Kappa will continue from the dog park end. And the Yorkers have the momentum, and they definitely are feeling it. Another good ball, and another dot ball for Adit Kappa. You'd hear Laksh Parikh to our left. Yeah, great catch by Dinesh Patel earlier. And the Yorkers, and their one victory so far came on Labor Day against the New England Eagles. Lower ball, steered down. They'll get a single out of it as Parikh comes in to make the stop, but first run. So 39 for 3. And the Philadelphians up in New York, they have finished their innings at 105 for 9. So the Stallions, or rather the Cavaliers, you would think in good contention in that match. We won't know the result until after this one is done. And that one pitched away. It is given as a wide. I don't think it was a terrible delivery at all from Adit Kappa. I think he's trying to establish that particular line. Gives up a run in that instance. And off the back foot, Thurton tries to guide it away, but does so to the fielder. You still have that one slip in place, which was Devanesh Sheth. Two men to the inside, and once again they creep forward with the delivery. Same spot as the ball before last, and another wide ball. Kappa, who yesterday was bowling relatively tidy. They're looking for it, but the finger stays down. They were looking for it. Kappa thought he might have had a second. The delivery, and almost through the field, went right through the fielder, through the infield cordon. They get a single. Not a bad over from Kappa. Aside from those two wides, he gives up 4. 8 overs complete. The New Jersey Stallions needing 92 to win or 42 for 3 after 8 overs. We'll take a look at which each team in a moment, which team, the rest of the schedule for each team. We'll take a look at that in a minute. Yasser Muhammad will come back in to bowl from the Edinburgh Road end. And that one is punched down the ground right through Dinesh Patel. They get it back in after Thurton takes a single. So the Yorkers, as we said, their last 2 games are here next week against the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers. That one bounces up high. What a good ball by Yasser Muhammad, who's 1 for 4. The Stallions will play the Titans on Thursday and on Friday. They'll play the Philadelphians next Saturday and the New England Eagles next Sunday. And coming in, I was looking at that schedule saying, I find it very hard to pick out at least one game where they could lose, but they are really getting taken to 2 by the Yorkers here as Mukamala cuts it away. And that one goes all the way through for 4, and a misfield there, it appears, in the deep, and you don't want to give Sai Mukamala any extra runs. It was a low stroke, and you'll see it here. He came over and tried the one-handed, and for Preet Shah, momentum and physics wins the day and costs him a couple of runs. 47 for 3, Mukamala on 21. Fuller delivery. You can hear Yasser Muhammad putting the full berries, as they say in Western Australia, behind it. The Yorkers went with 2 pace bowlers to start with Arya Garg and Manoj Acharya, as this one is turned to the onside by Mukamala. They'll take a run. 48 for 3. The Stallions 4 games in 4 days, and it'll be a question. It'll be a question of rotations. It'll be a question of how well they can keep things up all those days in a row. It's demanding, but they've already done it once. Thurton opens up and smacks it to the onside. And that ends the over. So Yasser Muhammad gives up 7. Not a bad over from him all in all. The Stallions still behind the run rate at the end of 9. They are 49 for 3. They need 85 off the last 66. Looking at yesterday was, I would say, right around the, let's say, the 13th over was when they really started. I would say in the 9th was when they really started to hit the gas pedal. They had 12 in the 9th off of Narain, 12 in the 10th off of Yasser Muhammad. And then that big stretch was 12 in the 17th, 12 in the 18th, 24 off of Acharya in the 19th. Cut away through the infield. Good job of getting that one back in quick, fast, and in a hurry as Adit Kappa comes in for his 3rd over. And that brings up the 50 as Thurton now on to 5. So it comes in the 9th over when they get to the 50. And let's say about 2 overs ahead of where the Yorkers did it. They don't take a run on that occasion. They are still 9 runs behind the DLS par score, which at this point is more of a guide than anything else with no rain in the area. And the DLS par score, in case you're new to cricket, is if the game were to end like suddenly because of the weather, that's basically how they would determine who wins and loses. Essentially, what would the par score for this exact situation vis-a-vis the other team? Dab to the onside, good stop made. Lead by Arya Garg, and that the tails are up here for the Manhattan Yorkers, and they're playing well in all aspects now. Oh, good ball. Good ball. Again, going for that fourth stump line. Well, Kappa had a couple of good overs in the first game. They've been all good so far. And right on the stumps, and Mukamala, all he can do is play a defensive shot. We're at the drinks break, and I think it's a little bit of a surprising result right now, or status to the game, as the New Jersey Stallions have seen both their openers removed, and at the midway point, they need 84 off the final 60. They're 50 for 3. We'll be back after the drinks break.
Whoever you are on the field, the dream is what drives us. Gear up for your dreams. Shop now at dreamcricketstore.com.
The drinks break is over, and we're ready to resume with the final section of the match for today, and the final section of the match for the weekend here in the Eastern Division, at least here in Mercer County, New Jersey. Brian Barish back here with you. New Jersey Stallions require 84 off the final 60 to win and keep their unblemished record in season 2025 intact. The Manhattan Yorkers are putting up a very strong fight, and it is one of the two men besides Arya Garg to come in Laksh Parikh. Who was a former member of the Austin/Lone Star Athletics. And after playing in the Central Division for 4 seasons, he has come across here, and they're looking for a catch, and it drops in. And he almost had one off the first ball of the day, but it dropped in short. And they come through for a single. Parikh, 33 wickets, and this is 33rd match of bowling. 35. And his very first, on the very first day of the minor league cricket season in 2021, he took a 4 and a good comeback just over the bat of Sai Mukamala, who has yet to look comfortable, at least in the same way that he did yesterday. Parikh for the Athletics took 32 wickets in 4 seasons. He had 20 in the first year in 16 games. Oh, just caught an edge. And had there been a slip there, it would have been close. But again, good defense, good fielding. Well, the Yorkers, and I'll tell you what, I saw them call the game against New England on Labor Day that they won, and they've been playing good cricket, and there have been times where their defense has let them down. Their fielding has let them down, but on this occasion, so far so good, as Parikh continues to bowl well. On the 2 runs that he's allowed, they've still been off of decent deliveries. Thurton from Trinidad Tobago, his first year in minor league cricket. Smack down the ground. Thurton goes deep and goes for 6. That is a welcome maximum. Straight and majestic. And the first 6 of the innings for the New Jersey Stallions, and maybe that turns the tide. As Thurton goes to double digits, he's 12 off of 10. Let's see if he's eyeing a delivery in the same spot. Fuller ball ends up being straight down the ground, and Christian Thurton will retain the strike. After they score 9 runs in the over, they are still a fair ways behind the asking rate, but that's a good place to start. As Parikh gives up 9, the New Jersey Stallions after 11 are 59 for 3. 75 runs off the final 54 balls. And here's a look at the worm chart. You can see the worms kind of intersecting a little bit. The Stallions just ahead of the pace that the Yorkers were at. They have lost more wickets quickly. Now, this is right around the time that the Yorkers started an acceleration. Most of their runs coming in the death as Attic Kappa will come in to finish his spell. 3 1 for 10 off of 3 overs. And he cuts this one away. And Drew Pawar in his trademark floppy hat comes in. So they're at 60. And you see the New Jersey Stallions dugout. Down the ground. In the air. There's a man. It's taken! Another wicket. And it's Devinish Chef. Cool as you like. And that will be it for Sai Mukamala, who cannot find yesterday's magic. 23 off of 22. And Adit Kappa has a second wicket. And the New Jersey Stallions, Weebles are wobbling. They're 60 for 4. As the ball comes in, again, it was an off spinner, and Mukamala usually gets a hold of those, but did not on this occasion. When he got out yesterday, it was a drive to deep mid-off, but today it is a pop-out. And the Manhattan Yorkers have themselves in a good position. Still plenty of time. But now it's up to Jesse Singh. And I think about the game on Labor Day, the game before this one, when the New Jersey Stallions against the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers, a team that right now looks like it's going to be the team that will challenge them for this Eastern Division title. After Riki and Hamraj put up a opening partnership of 73, where after Viraj Desai and Salman Nazar threw the brakes on, it was Jesse Singh who's 33, dragged his team into position, and that's what allowed Anirudh Emanuel, after Singh had gotten run out, and allowed Anirudh Emanuel to hit the winning runs in the final over. Now, we said that this was going to be a pivotal partnership, but Jesse Singh, generally more known for his work with the ball, but is not a slouch with the bat whatsoever. His 33 was his second highest in minor league cricket. He has a high score of 37. Plays through that one, and I'll tell you what, this team and the Yorker fans are really behind Adit Kappa today. A great story. 3 balls to come in the 12th over. Got under it. They're going back. It is just out of the reach of Danish Patel. They'll get a single. And Danish Patel, I think, would have needed a couple more steps to get to that one. As we look at it again, it was cut in the air. It was, again, a high aerial chance. And Patel got a really good jump on it, but just out of his reach. But all the same, 1 run allowed, 2 to come. Cut away and into the infield. They've got 4 men on that side and a couple in that gully region. And Adit Kappa, his final ball of the day. He opens up a catch opportunity, maybe. No, it just drops in front of the rope for 4. So Adit Kappa will finish 2 for 16, but honestly, forget the last 4. It was a really, really great effort from him. He gets some low high fives from his teammates. A 4, however, for the Stallions, and they end the 12th over as Thurton now goes to 18. They are 65 for 4. Here it is again. You see the effort and carved away. That's Pranav Chattopadhyay, the main reason why the Yorkers are in a winning position. And they are the ones who are soaring majestically, just like our avian friend. One of the things I love working about Mohsen, our producer, is that he always seems to catch things in the air like that, and I love that we get these bird pictures. I could pull out my my Merlin app and tell you which one he is. Parikh will come back in to bowl. We have so much fun doing this. I'm having the best time. Parikh will bowl from the Edinburgh Road end. Guided away by Jesse Singh. Quick peg at the stumps is offline. But they managed to keep it to a single, and now the Manhattan Yorkers are in a good position with the asking rate at 8.6, and the Stallions barely at a run of, as you know, 5.4. They're not even at a run of ball. They are 12 behind the DLS par score, and they are in a position where they can afford to give up a run here and there. At some point, Jesse's going to explode. Fuller toss. Thurton sends this one deep. He's tracking back. It is a 6. So Christian Thurton goes downtown again. That is his second 6. And he goes on to 24. Tried for the leg spin, but read well and right off the meat of the bat for Christian Thurton. And Thurton, who's came out with a 30 and a 35 in the first 2 games of the season, hasn't been up that high since. He's heading in that direction. 62 off of 46. Has to play defensively there. Good comeback for Parikh. Well, one was hoping in the back of one's mind that this would be a closer game than the ones yesterday. All 3 games in the Eastern Division were frankly one-sided, and the game up in New York between Philadelphia and Somerset appears to be the same way. Shorter ball turned by Thurton, and they will get a single. They're thinking about a second, but Thurton thinks better of it, and so does his captain. 73 for 4. While we're thinking of that, the New Jersey Cavaliers, after 4, chasing down a target of 106 or 25 without loss. And I think unless Cornet Dry takes like a fifer or something, I think the Cavaliers are well in control of that game. In the air, caught mold! Another man goes down. It's Jesse Singh. There will be no heroics on this day. Parikh has a wicket. His first with the Yorkers. The Stallions are in trouble at 73 for 5. He was content, Jesse Singh, to play this defensively, but it comes off the edge of the bat. And going forward in one motion, Parikh was challenged a little by the angle, but he had it all the way. 73 for 5. And the captain is gone, and now it will be up to Thurton to really see if he can take charge here. And Rushik Patel will come to strike. And Patel has only batted 5 innings, and he has a grand total of 2 runs to his name. 1 in the Super 8 portion. In fact, it was duck 1-1 is what he's had. He had a duck in one of the last games of the season last year, and then in the Super 8, he scored 1 run. He hasn't been dismissed yet. He's been not out all 3 occasions. But this is kind of where the Stallions stand, and well, they're saving Anirudh Emanuel, it seems, They still have plenty of time, but let's see what happens here as Parikh will bowl the final ball of the 13th over. Oh, good ball. And it's a wide. Just went behind him. And so one more ball to come. 74 for 5. But Parikh has bowled well. That's 6 aside by Thurton. Final ball of the over, take 2. Short delivery, right back to the bowler, and that'll do it. Laksh Parikh gives up 9 in the over. He does, however, take the wicket of Jesse Singh. After 13, the New Jersey Stallions are 74 for 5. They require 60 from the final 42 balls. And they will have to do so with largely bowling specialists. I think the one guy, the game that they won on Labor Day, as Yasser Muhammad gets the ball and will continue. We'll come back into the attack, beg your pardon. It was Stephen Wigg and Anirudh Emanuel who saw the victory out. It was Wigg who came over after Singh had gotten bowled out, or gotten run out, rather. So let's see the field. We've got everybody who is outside the circle has their heels on the ropes here. We've got square and point as this one is driven down the ground. Stopped at the deep nicely by Deep Patel. And the ball comes back in. It's a good stop by Deep Patel at long off. It was Yasser Muhammad who had entered at 1 for 10. Sees him take a 2 to start. And Thurton goes to 27. So 27 off of 18 for Seamart. Christian Micah Ronaldo Thurton. Well, I guess when your name is Christian, you kind of have to sneak the name Ronaldo in there. I feel like there's a 50-50 chance that his dad was a Cristiano Ronaldo fan. Or his mom was. We could have been either. Goes for the cut shot, and Yasser Muhammad. This is the best bowling performance that I've seen so far from this bowling attack, and they've really had everybody so far seems to have been bowling well. So one hit, and did he catch it? No. It's a 6. It was very, very Dinesh Patel, who he's taken one, and he came very, very close. This was on a line. This was a bullet drive, and I saw Dinesh Patel go up and just threw his hands and over for 6. That was rough. But that's showing the effort, and that is Christian Thurton's 3rd 6, by the way. Tries for another one. He was swinging with authority, but to no avail. 2 balls remaining in the over. He is on to 33 off of 20. And we said that this is essentially going to need to be, this is his game, basically. Did he get it? Did he get it? I don't see a signal. They were already off celebrating, and Yasser Muhammad hoping to coax the decision from the umpire, but it didn't come. We'll see it again. No, he was. I don't know what Pranav Chattopadhyay heard, but it wasn't the ball. That wasn't the bat, and that means they'll stay alive. 1 ball remaining in the over. Yasser Muhammad. Length ball, driven down the ground. D. Patel fields after they take a single, and Thurton keeps the strike. He goes to 34 off of 23, and as we said, he's basically going to be, if they're going to do it, it's most likely going to be through him. 6 overs remaining. They require 51 to win. As you look at, this is about the time where the Manhattan Yorkers accelerated in the 15th and the 17th, especially when they got 16 runs. And the 18th, 19th, and 20th was when they really poured it on. And Pranav Chattopadhyay en route to 68. A masterful performance from him, but that is where this game turned. They had 18 in the 17th, 13 in the 19th, and then 9 off of Stephen Wigg. And then Jesse Singh gave up 7 in his final ball. So you can see where now both teams, the question will be whether or not the Stallions can replicate that, although the Stallions are very much deeper in their lineup, as you can see. And the top order not really getting it going as Dominique Ricci out for 7, Akshay Hamraj out for 11. Saimuk Amala never really got his eye in before being caught out for 23. Before that, Ramanveer Dhaliwal dismissed by Yasser Muhammad for a duck, and then Jesse Singh caught and bowled by Parikh. So that is where we stand, and the Yorkers were, I think, a little bit, they weren't as deep in the lineup. Preet Shah will come into bowl for the first time, and he will do so from the Edinburgh Road end. Thurton going deep. There's a man there. It's off of his hands and over the rope for 6, and it's another misfield. It's the second one, and this time he looked like he had more of a beat on it. But Thurton gets his 4th 6. And again, with a little help from the outfielders. Just off of his top of his hands and over. And it would have been Sydney or the Bush either way. It would have been an out or it would have been 6. And Thurton now on the 40, and this is now his season high. Again, this time it's whacked down the ground. They're going to try for 2 and get it easily, and Thurton says, I'm not really keen to give up the strike at this point. Well, he's on the 42 off of 25 balls. And the Stallions are still in sight here. They haven't been knocked out. They've been knocked out of the canvas a couple of times. It's 43 from 34. Fuller tosses. Thurton was counting on there not being much of a pitch. And the ball hopped over his bat. Guided away through Dinesh Patel. And they're thinking 2 all the way. And they're going to get it. 2 more for Christian Thurton, who has been really the reason that the Stallions are still very much in this game. Fuller ball driven again down the ground, and this time it is a 4. So Christian Thurton, another boundary for him. And he is feeling his oats here as he goes on the 48. That's just his second 4 to go with 4 6s. And 1 ball still to come, 97 for 5, 37 off of 31. And They keep taking bites out of this target. And he'll wait. Preach Shop. He did do some bowling yesterday. He was 1 for 28 from 3 overs yesterday. And this time it is nudged down the ground, but stopped by Preet Shah, so Thurton will not get his half century just yet. He's on 48. Buckle in, my friends. These last 5 overs are going to be very, very exciting. I was going to say bangerang, but they require 37 off of the final 30 balls. 97 for 5 New Jersey Stallions. And here is the partnership, and it's all been one-sided as Rushik Patel has only faced 1 ball so far. The other 12 has been Christian Thurton, who, as you can see, has played a fair bit up in Canada. He played mostly in British Columbia, but in this partnership has 23 of the 23 of the runs, including 1 wide. But it will be he who will watch Rushik Patel. And it will be Dhruv Patel getting some encouragement from Yasser Muhammad, who is about 30 feet to my left here in the comms tent. Purwar giving up 4 runs in his first over, which seems like a long time ago. 37 from 30. The Stallions trying to stay undefeated. Down the ground over the bowler's head. Yasser Muhammad on his horse comes in and slides in. Getting to the ball very quickly. They get 2, however. So Rushik Patel gets off the mark after watching Thurton have all the fun on the other end. Goes for a swing, no contact. I think you have to try and get as many runs as you can from Christian Thurton here, and I think the smart play is try and look for a single. Although Rushik thinking he can get one ahead, and he turns on one. And they'll scamper through, and I think that's just what the doctor ordered, and that brings up the 100 for the New Jersey Stallions. Midway through the 15th over, 34 off of 27. And they are right on par with the DLS right now. Well, the game against the New Jersey Stallions was bonkers. It ended up being really exciting. The game against the Cavaliers, beg your pardon. And this game appears to be heading very much in that direction. Down the ground. The fielder in Dinesh Patel watches it sail out towards the fans. And that is a half century for Christian Thurton. His maiden half century in minor league cricket. And boy, has his team really needed him to come to the fore. It's his 5th 6. 54 off of 30, and this was a no-doubter. And the Stallions now need 28 from 26. It's in the air, and had there been somebody in the gully, there would have been problems, but instead they'll take a single, and they'll gladly do so. 107 for 5, and now Rushik Patel comes back up. Well, now they're 5 ahead of par. And much like the last game, although the Stallions in the game against the Cavaliers were in control at one point, this one is smacked. 2 fielders converge. One is there. It's taken. And that'll do it for Rushik Patel. It's a first wicket for Dhruv Pawar. And the Stallions now 107 for 6. As Deep Patel in the deep, checking his fingers to make sure they're all there. And the 16th over comes to an end with the departure of Rushik Rajendra Patel. Well, here it is again. He got good wood on this one. But Deep Patel was there. Not quite enough, young man. And Rushik Patel has to go for 3. So Pawar now 1 for 14. And 4 overs to come. The New Jersey Stallions 107 for 6. They need 27 off of 24. And it's Anirudh Emanuel who will come in at number 8. And Anirudh, as we said, 10 not out in the victory against, or 12 not out in the victory against the Cavaliers. His highest is 30. Well, if he can keep the run rate moving, he's got a guy on the other side who is going to face first because that was the end of the over. And Christian Thurton, who has it going on. But if the Yorkers can get him out, then it's going to be very dicey. Here we go. This one is in the air, and it's going to land short. Preet Shah stops it in the deep. 108 for 6. There's Thurton now. He goes on the 56, and Anirudh will come up. He's for a bowler, he has decent batting skills. Or a guy who generally is a bowling specialist. Fuller toss, driven along the ground. They thought about it, and finally they go through for a single. And that'll be good to get Thurton back on the strike. 25 from 22. The Yorkers need a dot ball, I think. A wicket would be helpful, too. Not on this occasion. If they could get Thurton, the Stallions have Stephen Wigg, who I think is not a bad option. But then they have Siddharth Matani and Sachin Mailavarapu. Big swing, and that turned just outside of the stumps. But we said they needed a dot ball, and they got it. 25 from 21. This one is hit deep. It is back. It is 6. Another long blast by Christian Thurton. Bam. And he has hit them with authority today. His 6th. And he is 62 off of 34. In the air. It's going to drop in. And they'll just take the 1. And now they need 18 off the final 19. Now they're ahead of the run rate. This could be, I mean, like I said, I looked at those final 4 games of the season, and I'm like, I can't see them really losing any of them, but, I mean, they've been put to the test here. And Anirudh trying to take a run, but probably for the best because it means Thurton will come back to the strike. So Yasser Mohammed finishes 1 for 28. I don't think he bowled all that badly. A good effort for him. He's one of the reasons why this team is still in the game. The Stallions 116 for 6 at the end of 17. They require exactly 18 from 18. Now we go back to the over chart, and that is where the Manhattan Yorkers accelerated, was right in that 17th over. You see the Stallions getting it a couple of overs earlier. Getting it in the 15th and again in the 16th. It was 12-4-18 in the 15th through the 18th. Here it's 14-10 and 9. So 9-9, 14-10 and 9 in the last 5 overs for the New Jersey Stallions, and we are on 18 off of 18 as Drew Pawar will come back in to bowl his 3rd over. And Christian Thurton still in the middle on 63 from 35. Mr. Pranav Chanapalliam got 68 in the first innings. Driven down the ground, gets by Drew Pawar, and they'll take a single. That's the winning pace. A run a ball, 117 for 6. If the teams are tied, again, for our new fans, we'll go to a super over. Each team will get 6 balls and 2 wickets to try and score as many runs. But we're not at that point yet. 17 balls remaining, 17 to win. And Anirudh Emanuel has to try to play that one defensively, and he said watches the ball sail by. This one is hit well. It's hit deep. It's hit for 6. Anirudh Emanuel says, I know how to slug him too. A maximum, and it's a huge, huge bite out of the required target. And now they need 11 from 15. And we said that they wanted to get Thurton out. But Anirudh Emanuel says, I can win it too. I've done it before. He strokes it down the ground. Dinesh Patel rushes in. 124 for 6. They need 10 from 14. And here is Thurton. Well, the Manhattan Yorkers came close to victory against the Philadelphians. They let it slip away. Let's see if they can do it here. Swept to the onside. Fielded in the deep by Manoj Acharya. They'll get 2. And Thurton now on 66 off of 37. And it's 8 from 13. They're willing Drew Pawar on. This time off the back foot goes Thurton. They'll take a single, and Thurton will keep the strike. I think that might be by design. Well, Drew Pawar tried his best. He gives up 11 runs in that over, and the New Jersey Stallions, thanks to Anirudh Emanuel's 6, are now just 7 runs from victory off the final 12 balls, 127 for 8. And as great of an effort as it's been for the Manhattan Yorkers, it has been a great comeback. As you see, Drew Pawar 1 for 25 from his 3rd. Well, let's look at bowling possibilities here. Adit Kappa, who bowled very well at the early juncture of this game, 2 for 16 has been bowled out. Yasser Muhammad has been bowled out at 1 for 28. And I imagine they'll probably go with the pace combination of Manoj Acharya and Arya Garg. And in fact, Manoj has the ball. And so for a guy who has taken 68 wickets and currently sits 7th all time, now would be a good time to get rid of a guy with 67 standing in front of him and his team needing 7 to win from the final 12. Here we go. Drives it down the ground. He'll scramble in at long off to keep the ball in play. And now a maximum wins the game. And Anirudh Emanuel has done it before. He won the game a couple of weeks ago against the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers. Will he be the one to walk it off here? on a day when we've seen two fantastic batting performances, first by Pranav Chanapalliam and the other by Christian Thurton. One of them will be done in vain in a losing effort. Dab to the onside. They'll take one. 129 for 6. 5 to win from the final 10. And perhaps if Thurton can do it, that would be, I think it would be appropriate. We'll put it that way. Well, let's look at the field. It looks like they've got a long on, long off. And he thwacks this one on a line, stopped in the infield, station to station, 130 for 6. And now anything that leaves the field of play will win the ball game for the New Jersey Stallions and give them their 6th victory of the season. And once again, as they had to against the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers, they will have earned it. Acharya to bowl and pulls out of his run-up. And irrespective of what happens here, the the Manhattan Yorkers, I think, have to be proud of how they played today. But they would like to maybe come from behind here. Got it away! It's caught! And there is a wicket. Devonish Chef. And that is the end of Anirudh Emanuel, who brought his team a little bit closer. He will not see them over the line, though. It was a thick edge, and Chef, waiting in the gully, makes no mistake, hangs on to it. It's not quite over, Red Rover. 130 for 7. And Stephen Wigg comes up. And Stephen Wigg, who was out there with Anirudh Emanuel on Labor Day, a high of 27, an average of just a touch under 10 runs. And you can see him talking with Christian Thurton. It's a shorter talk than the one Jesse Singh gave him when Singh returned to the dugout after getting run out. I imagine if Jesse talked to him about the possibility of him coming up with his team needing runs to win here, it would have happened in the dugout. But Stephen Wigg will face 4 required off of 8. Any boundary wins the game for the Stallions. Manoj Acharya, by the way, that's wicket number 69. He's 2 for 12. Oh, it's off of his legs and dribbles down in front. It's a dot ball. Dot balls are like gold for the Manhattan Yorkers. Now the question is, it might be a silly question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Do you give up a single here to keep Stephen Wigg on strike? Or do you just treasure the dot ball? 4 from 7. Chipped in the air, down the ground. They're going to go peg at the stumps. And it was stopped by Manoj Acharya. Otherwise, had it gotten by, well, there is the single. And Stephen Wigg will keep the strike as we head into the final over. The New Jersey Stallions, 131 for 7. And they need 3 runs to win off the final 6 balls. This is exciting. This is very, very exciting. And I imagine the question will be who will bowl this final over. Arya Garg still might. We'll see who it is. It will be Dhruv Pawar, who has given up 25, but they will give the ball to him in hopes that he can get out Christian Thurton, who is on 69 and who has single-handedly brought his team to the precipice. Yorkers coming in. They're playing with a lot of players inside here. And it looks like they're trying to stop the singles at the very least. Man at long off. They don't have one at long on, so if he can pull the ball, it'll be a long run for the fielders on the boundaries if he can send one down the field. This one is smashed. It's still in the field of play. Did he get it? No, he dropped it. It's going to end up being 2 runs. And the scores are going to be level here. And Yasser Muhammad knew he had the chance. In fact, it is 2, and scores are level. And Yasser Muhammad, head in hands, he knew he had it. And once again, a drop catch. And now they need 1 to win. As Stephen Wigg now on 3, can he be the hero? It won't be Thurton. He dabs it to the offside, and the New Jersey Stallions remain undefeated in 2025. Oh, that was a war. That took every little fiber of being. And the New Jersey Stallions have won the game by 3 wickets. And they have done so with 4 balls left. It is Christian Thurton, 69 not out for 40, the top scorer of the game. And alongside Stephen Wigg, who got the winning runs. This was a fantastic game on both sides. As we take a look at the match summary, Pranav Chettapalliam, 68 off of 50. You know what? For a guy who had been struggling, it was a great day for him. Alongside Deep Patel getting 44 off of 50. And Stephen Wigg taking a couple of wickets and getting the victory as well. Christian Thurton, however, is your hero, 69 off of 40. And Sai Mukamala never really getting started. He was the second highest scorer on 23. Manoj Acharya, 2 for 13. Adit Kappa bowled very well in his 4 overs, 2 for 16. But it's the New Jersey Stallions, your winners today, as they go to 6-0. And the Manhattan Yorkers are now mathematically eliminated from playoff contention. A shame for them, considering the effort they put in today. So that'll do it for us. We'll be back here in Mercer County, New Jersey, in West Windsor Township at Mercer County Park on Saturday. I imagine the game will be Saturday morning as the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers come to town to finish off their season with 2 games, one on Saturday, one on Sunday against Manhattan. Our thanks, my deepest thanks to Mo for his production work today, as well as to everybody in the production on the remote side. For everyone here from Mercer County, this is Brian Barish wishing you a pleasant good evening.